Adaman asks, do you rather pick like whiskey instead of beer because of calories and stuff? So when it comes to alcohol and getting drunk, I mean, having fun, same thing. What I prefer to do is I have a flow chart of ideas. Okay, so why am I drinking? Am I drinking to get drunk so I feel the buzz feeling? Or am I drinking because of a, I feel socially pressured to, and I'd rather just not. But I'm at a party and I want to have a drink in my hand. Now, of course, the underlying assumption is you're trying to cut and you're trying to lose weight and you have alcohol. Alcohol is in the question. So if you are trying to just get that buzz, then I would just stick to hard liquor like whiskey, have a little bit, right? Because that's the amount of calories is quite low. It's pretty much just pure alcohol, which is what you're going for if you want to get that buzz. You don't want the extra carbs and stuff from beer. That's kind of unnecessary calories. And alcohol will get you where you want to go very quickly. So on an empty, I'll give you an example. When I was watching Game of Thrones back in the day when Game of Thrones was going on, and if I was cutting during Game of Thrones season, I would save my dinner for Game of Thrones. Like I would hold off on eating dinner until Game of Thrones. I would sip of my favorite whiskey at the beginning of the show, get a good buzz because I had an empty stomach, and just like an ounce of whiskey was enough to get me buzzing for the show and just relax and enjoy. And then I would eat my dinner immediately after. And that was just a very good combo to still work in a little bit of alcohol while still enjoying it and, tracking my calories, all that stuff. So now the other extreme, like let's say you're at a party, you frequently hang out with friends and they all drink a lot and you feel kind of pressure to just keep drinking or to have something in your hands. I would go for a light beer, the lightest stuff, and just sip on it slowly and just kind of nurse it, because light beers is a lot of water with a little bit of alcohol in it. And of course, you're probably not going to get that drunk off of it. If that's your goal, then, you might want to switch gears, or just, again, kind of sip things slowly. Now, of course, there's also the issue of if your friends continue to pressure you constantly and they don't understand, if you try to talk to them about like, hey man, get off my back, like I'm cutting calories right now, then, consider talking to your friends or changing group of friends. If they constantly pressure you to the point of holding you down, that is a separate conversation for another time. That is something to think about. I had another question just now about how to negotiate cookie eating with a family member, which can be tricky. How you go about that conversation is tricky because everyone's kind of different in terms of like what their ego is doing to protect them versus maybe they think that you're attacking them or they just don't understand where you're coming from. You should explain yourself, that kind of stuff. So it's very complicated from that angle. But anyway, in terms of alcohol, that's usually what I go towards. If you're trying to enjoy alcohol and cut calories, a couple other generic tips, I would go for a diet. If you're going to do a mixer, I would do a diet soda instead of a regular soda because of the calories. And no, artificial sweeteners are not going to kill you if you have like a single artificial sweetener. It's very overblown, the danger of artificial sweeteners. Examine.com debunks that quite a bit. Just don't go crazy and consume a ton of artificial sweeteners every single day. Once in a while is fine. So I would do that for mixers, and then for alcohol in general, just go for the lower carby, simpler tasting stuff. What I mean is some wines are very sweet. That's generally going to have less alcohol and more sugar. Again, it depends what you're going for, but I'm going with the assumption of you want to reduce calories and just get a buzz of some kind. So hope that makes sense. But yeah, straight tequila, straight whiskey, straight hard liquor in general is going to give you that effect of more alcohol for less calories. It's just, so it's just if you have like, let's say hard liquor is going to be like something like 70 calories per ounce. And that's going to be for that amount of alcohol. If you compare that amount of alcohol to a typical beer, like let's say an IPA beer, those are popular these days, they're a bit more carby, meaning it's going to be the same amount of alcohol, like 70-ish calories from that, plus an additional 30, 50, 80 or more calories from the carbs that comes with that beer. So that's kind of the whole, the calorie differences I'm talking about here. Adamant says, do you have any idea if red wine is better than white? Off the top of my head, I think it depends on the sweetness. That's like the simplest rule of thumb to go by, is how sweet or dry does it taste? Sweeter usually meaning it's going to have more sugar in it and less alcohol, versus the drier it is going to have more of the alcohol and less sugar. So that's what comes to my mind right now, but you can double check that. And accidentally, Carlos says, as someone who doesn't really drink, if people get really pushy at a party, I tell them I'm recovering alcoholic or because of my religion or something. Works like a charm. If you want to go that route, go for it. Yeah, so you guys get the idea. Another one too is like someone was mentioning earlier, like seltzer water plus vodka, and just sip on that slowly. That's another good example of something you can just sip on. So a lot of different strategies for this. At the end of the day, if your goal is weight loss, try to reduce calories in a way that is sustainable and still enjoyable, or instead of not something you don't hate. Because sometimes things aren't always enjoyable when you're cutting. Like, let's be real. If you're dieting down, it's not always gonna be something that you love. It could just be something that you just don't hate. All right? If you like the content, comment and subscribe on YouTube. Also, follow us on Twitch and leave the notifications on. Feed your brain, feed your body, and see you next time.